Moving forward, our next session is a case study of industrial disaster, which can be a lesson for an entrepreneur. Conducting the session, I have with me Mr. Nalin Mehta, a certified business coach with Action Coach India, who comes with extensive corporate experience of over 35 years and has gained valuable experience from organizations such as marketing head for Hindustan Motors, CEO for Mahindra Renault, to name a few. Now, in the next chapter of his career, Nalin is helping entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders, and innovators to optimize their businesses by helping them build structures, system, and management. With this, I hand it over to Nalin to take the session forward.
Thank you, Satyam. We've had some wonderful sessions in this almost 2 days now, more than 1.5 days. And I'm sure all the participants have enjoyed. We had some fantastic discussion in the last panel discussion on values. Let me first get set and share my screen so that everybody is able to see. And I'm going to ask for a confirmation whether we are able to see. Just a minute. Okay. So my screen visible, please.
It's still not. Yeah. It says start. Yeah. Now we can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay. Now I can see a couple of videos which are on the side. Okay. Maybe we have to just. So guys, first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I'm going to sort of, Satyan, can you help me to shut down my video so that I can focus on the slides and what I want to say, and I should not lose any bandwidth. Can you do that for me, or I have to do it myself?
You'll have to do it yourself. You just have to click on stop video. The icon start video. Just do that.
So let me see where that menu is gone. Yeah.
Stop video. Yeah. Now it's stopped. Your video is stopped.
The video stopped?
Yeah, it has.
All right. So I don't want to lose any bandwidth. So what a wonderful discussion. The last one also, and fantastic speakers over the last 1.5 days. Prisla, thank you very much for mentioning RISE. My last assignment was I retired as a managing director of Mahindra Truck and Bus. And I had many years in Mahindra and lived through RISE, and being in leadership positions, communicated RISE to my large team. So it was very, very nice to hear that. Folks, the way I plan to take this session is that I'll speak for about 30 minutes. And at the end of the session, I will take all the Q&As. But you could write your Q&As, of course, in the Q&A box as they come up in your mind. And in case there are some questions left, I will still answer them through email, so not to worry. And somewhere maybe during my talk, I will also ask you some questions and request you to put those answers in your chat box. Okay, so we get started. So we are kind of going through disaster times, and I have chosen to take you through an industrial disaster situation, which happened in reality about 10 years ago, and derive some learnings from that, which I think will be useful for all of us, including the business owners. Okay, my slide is not moving ahead. Okay, guys, I have to wait. The slide is not moving forward.
So Nalin, just stop sharing once and reshare. Again, share it.
Stop share.
Now again use it.
And reshare.
Yeah. Share it again. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully it moves now. No, my dear friend, it's not moving now.
Just try now.
All right. No, it's stuck.
Okay, just a minute.
That's one reason I switched off the video, but obviously that's still, okay, it's working now. All right, guys, we are all set. Sorry for this, but it's working now, so that's good. So all of us are faced with a bizarre situation today. The whole globe has come to a standstill. We have locked down, businesses have shut. Kind of, we know when it will open, but there is uncertainty, and there is an acute a feeling of helplessness in many of us. The example that I'm going to take you through is a mining disaster that happened in Chile. It's about 10 years ago, and 33 miners got stuck for 69 days below 2,300 feet below ground into these tunnels, dark places, and and let me tell you, we guys who are in this lockdown, we need to feel a lot of gratitude. That we are safe, we have shelter, we have enough food. There are millions in our country, who don't have these basic necessities. And we heard this beautiful example from Milind, where one of his customers is actually trying to help about 200 workmen who are stuck up on his site. And unlike this 33 Chilean miners, we do have hope. We can see light at the end of our tunnel. Maybe lockdown will get extended a bit. Maybe businesses could take a little more time to revive. But give and take, it looks like a 90-day period. Brad also, kind of alluded to a 90-day period. And we can perhaps figure that out from experience that we have from other countries. So we do have hope that, we will get a chance to revive quickly. But these miners, I cannot even guess the state of their despair. What kind of a situation they must have been. So I just want to start with a question to you all, So compared to these miners who are stuck there, do you think we are worse off or better off? I'm going to wait about 10 seconds. Do write in the chat box what you think. And perhaps I don't even have to read what you think. There are no prizes really for guessing that answer. Almost 100% of you would perhaps agree that we in this lockdown are better off. This mine collapsed, trapping these 33 ordinary human beings on an August 5 of that year, and they came out on October 13th, 2 months and 9 days after. And they all came out not only alive, but in reasonably good health. So you think the miners did some magical stuff inside there? I don't think so, no. They did some very, very obvious things to survive, very, very obvious things. But whatever they did in extremely difficult, uncertain, and life-threatening circumstances. And there lies the greatness of these people. So don't expect some big magical formula from my presentation today. Well, do expect some BFOs, blinding flashes of obvious. So what's a BFO? Actually, it's an aha moment where our brain makes a connection between two previously known but unconnected bits of information. And my talk today, friends, is to help stimulate some blinding flashes of obvious for all of us in this webinar. So that's what I hope to achieve in this discussion. I'm going to kind of organize my discussion and hopefully also the BFOs that I will create in 5 buckets. I'm going to start with the most important bucket, self. And then you are business owners and you have to assume leadership of your team. We heard a lot of speakers talk about how to keep the team intact, engaged during these difficult times. And then you have to demonstrate your grit, not only to your team, but also to your customers, vendors. And in some sense, you also have to be a leader in your community. After all, you are a business owner. And the most important, you have to take full charge of your resources. So let me start with the self. And I'm going to take you back in that copper mine, 2,300 feet below ground in those dark tunnels for some time. Urzua was their foreman who actually took leadership of all the men. The command challenges, please read the screen and I'm going to read it with you. The command challenges began within moments of collapse. He took 3 miners and scouted the tunnel searching for information. And once he concluded that they were trapped, he quickly ordered his men to huddle. And then there are many other details, but I must tell you that Urzua instituted a set of rules and regulations that were both methodically rigid and crucial to the men's survival. So I see 3 keywords here, for us. The first keyword is quickly. Instantly he understood and he did it. And the second is he set some rules and regulations which were very relevant to and crucial to the survival of the miners. And this is a very popular slide. It was discussed many a times during this summit. There was a very nice discussion on this in the last panel discussion. So what do you think Urzua did? Did he start blaming mine owners? Or was he in a state of denial? Sab kuch theek ho jayega, everything will be all right soon. Or did he sort of tell his team that we are helpless and we can't do anything? No poll here, friends. There are no points for getting this right. We all know that they came out alive and well, and we saw the previous slide. He, of course, assumed responsibility and accountability for the situation. He, of course, built within himself the positive attitude to stay above the point of power. So important. Need I say that this is the first thing that you have to do to yourself? And I say this word self in caps. You have to find your ways to do something that keeps you above the point of power. And it's a very personal thing, really, how you do it. I've seen some people would exercise, some will meditate, some will have some rituals, some will just discuss their ideas with friends and family, to remain positive, and some will sit down on a table and start jotting down straight to work. Different personalities will do this in different manners. In fact, the other day, my colleague Tabish, and you heard a lot of her during this 1.5 days. She was moderating sessions, and Tabish, she told me that she's determined to keep the same wake-up time, the same work schedule, and the same sleep schedule in spite of the lockdown. And this is her formula to remain energetic and to stay positive. So it is something personal. You have to work it, and you have to work it to remain above the line of point of power. So this is a beautiful picture compared to what we saw in the mine. We are, of course, in a far better situation. You all agreed to that. And therefore, we are much better placed to do what we have to do than those miners were. And here is something as my first lesson that I take from this situation. We are trapped in a lockdown, no doubt. But as a leader, a business leader, we have to get our wits together and we have to plan our course without losing any time. We have to take charge right now, create a mission for yourself, because creating a mission for yourself helps you to stay positive. And also create a mission for your business. And not only create a mission for your business, you have to really quantify that mission, and I will further elaborate and make sure that you convert that mission into smart goals. Let me give you some examples of personal mission that you can take for yourself, and self is in caps here. We have had this discussion during last 1.5-2 days. Many of us are good in one function. We start a business or get one from the family, and we jump headlong into it. A technocrat often misses on mastering other things like finance or marketing or communication. People skills are very important. As you grow your team bigger, how to select good people. We heard Dr. Korwar speak about selecting leaders. He said selecting, employees and teammates is one thing, but selecting a leader who's as good as you, that's a different art. Or we, how to appraise our team or build team spirit, or how to give constructive critique to your team, and then there were some discussions, how to give bad news to teams. So these are a lot of people skills, that one can acquire. Many of us are of an age, when we were young, we didn't have social media. You could take a mission for yourself to master the art of how to leverage social media and promote your business or even your personal brand. We today heard a very nice discussion on how to build personal brand. So there is a lot of online material available for whatever you choose. And you need to just choose the one which gives you a lot of energy and it helps you to stay positive. A few examples of business mission. I thought I should give these examples, so that you get concrete ideas from this talk, and you get some BFOs from this list. Uh, Many of our businesses, we get headlong into increasing revenue, production, and often, the processes are not documented as well as they should be. Maybe, this is a good mission in these days to make us a process-driven organization or a customer-driven organization. Please choose the ones, those missions, what I mean, which align with your annual business goal. That's very important. So don't do something out of the way. Something that you anyway was a part of your annual goal, you're just compressing it to a 90-day. So choose a mission, which will actually help your business, and it's a part and parcel of your vision, long-term vision. If you are in IT support business, developing an online support system which is a better response time could be of a great value. Similarly, if you are in a retail business, maybe an online store is the best time to start moving into an online store. Anyway, the world might change post-COVID. Even missions like, I will do brand building in social media, they could be relevant for many industries, for instance, tourism. I must share with you that I am getting regular messages from a travel company. He's pushing and promoting winter destinations. He knows nobody's traveling now, and he's giving packages. And if I book now with some advance, I get some fantastic extra offers. So I just called him. And, I don't want to buy any package right now, but I just called him to understand what he's doing. And he told me with a lot of energy and conviction, that he has set a mission to garner max market share for this winter. And he actually told me that he has two team members, he said, and he has many sub-agents in different locations. And he said that he has given his team and his sub-agents segment-wise goals. Imagine this person's, fantastic. I was really impressed. Segment-wise goals to do bookings. In fact, making calls as well as bookings. And he said that he's also taking this opportunity to strengthen his online presence, and he's using some nephew who's very good at it, and he's working on with him to improve his website and doing stuff that he has not learned before. So what a fantastic approach. Another client, in fact, I consult him, and he provides engineering design services. He's taken a mission to have the best customer relations. He's conducting online training, which is relevant in the relevant engineering design area for the trainee engineers of his key customers. His goal, he said, he's quantified it. His goal, he said, is to conduct at least one session for each of his key customers. He has about 3 or 4 competitors in Pune, and he says his mission is that at the end of 60 days, he's taken a 60-day plan. He wants to be the most preferred supplier for his key customers. So that's the kind of mission he has taken. So I understand that it's not easy sometimes in these bad times to think through this, but you have to. I mean, as business leaders, you have to, and you have to select the right mission. You have to quantify it. If you want help in setting up your 90-day mission and SMART goals, I'll be happy, and all of our coaches, I'm sure, will be happy to engage with you. Do mail if you need support. And, to tell you, my personal mission is to become known in the SME circle, a coach with strategic mindset. So, I also have a mission. Time for another poll before I close this section. And this is a poll, I'm sure it's close to your heart. So before the lockdown, when your operations were normal, what percentage of your time you spent on managing day-to-day crisis? So I have 3 options here. Just type your option in the chat box. Less than 25%, somewhere in the middle, greater than 50%. So let me give you a few seconds to type it out. Uh, Most answers would be ranging from 25% plus for sure. I really don't want to go into the stats, but most answers, and thank you, a lot of responses. I see about 40, 45 responses already. Most answers, and they're still increasing, still increasing. And see, the thing is that you can't manage time. You can only manage the events and yourself better. Time, ticks without stop. And it's the most perishable commodity actually on earth. Time actually is the most perishable, uncontrollably perishable commodity in life and on earth. So now when operations have slowed down, you have some time, all those crises are, sort of not there. It's very easy to move into zone 2, zone 3 and zone 4. It's very, very easy to get into distractions, some time wasting activity. Some of you may actually be worrying or brooding also. So, so make sure, that you focus on doing something constructive, whether it's customer relationship improvement, whether it is capability improvement, whether it is prevention of bad quality and some other things, whether it is, looking at new opportunities and planning those opportunities, or even some positive recreation. So be aware. And as business owners, you have to consciously keep yourself in zone 2. And I think having a personal mission, having a business mission helps you to remain in zone 2. And not only that, it also gives the direction to your team and helps your team to remain in zone 2. So that's my kind of final advice on self. And I'm going to move to my next bucket, which is team. And I'm going to take you again down 2,000 to 300 feet down into that dark tunnel. You know, uh, Look at this now. Urzwa took charge underground, dividing their habitat into separate areas for sleeping, working, and washing. He's organizing them quickly. He instilled a sense of structure and order among his men, who even he admitted had been obviously, initially overcome by complete desperation. Uh, Urzwa split his men into 3 groups to build team spirit as well as improve efficiency. It's written somewhere. And he also started to map the tunnels. Could be useful for survival and rescue later on. So yes, we are trapped in the lockdown, no doubt. And as leaders, we have to get our wits together and plan our course without losing time. I'm repeating. Please communicate to your team. Don't infect them with corona paralysis. Give them an infectious inspiration. That's the key word here. Make sure you convert that inspiration and the mission which is inspiring them into simple, measurable, achievable, tangible, relevant goals. I would say involve your team in creating these SMART goals. Certainly involve them in creating individual action plans. Many individual actions will be co-dependent on another team member. These are very important. Make sure that you point that out to your team, that these things have to be done together by 3 people or two people. You should encourage more such actions. Believe me, this is the best time to foster team spirit. Also, please make sure that you organize the whole setup. It's important. People should not feel lost. Maybe simple one-page work from home policy, dress code, or what time to log in, everybody to use an XYZ software, Skype or Zoom. I understand your employees, everybody will not have laptop, but everybody will have smartphones, and these things can happen on phones these days. Maybe, you institute an online meeting at 9:30 a.m., where an agenda will be shared in advance, etc., etc. But you make sure that you give them a clear structure to get going. So I'm moving ahead. This is my lesson 2. I'm moving ahead and taking you again downwards. Urzwa credited majority decision making for the trapped men's good spirits, imagine, and dedication to their common goal. Let's see more of these. You just have to speak the truth, he said, and you have to believe in democracy. We last session, there was so much discussion about, speaking honestly and, transparently, and in the previous sessions also, this point has been spoken. He kept his men occupied with 12-hour shifts and maintained strict discipline. He maintained strict discipline. So friends, here is what we have to do in adverse time, in bad times like this. We need to increase communication with team manifold. Remember, they are feeling a lot more lost than you as owner, actual business owner. You still know what's happening. So increase the frequency of communication, increase the frequency of review. In fact, I would recommend daily video review, and maybe another phone review. In fact, Milind alluded to that in the discussion. He said he also was recommending strongly a daily kind of very frequent review. Make sure the action plan is detailed and everyone has enough task in hand, which you will review on a regular basis. I repeat, you can even give self-development targets to your team. Please do that. Example, often you find salespeople complaining that the backend is not cooperative, they don't understand market. You could push the whole team to become customer oriented. You could ask your finance person to read some material on how sales is done. But yeah, other day a friend of mine who understood this principle from me, and a business owner, he said that he asked his team to read up, but nothing happened. So, well, please prescribe what to read. As business owner, you have the wherewithal. Send them a link. This is what you have to read, and also ensure that you have to present a summary of what you have understood to everybody else. So do some things which are really pushy and get some gains out of it. Do not undermine the importance of such activities. Remember, Urzua ensured that each man had work for 12 hours every day, and meaningful work. And meaningful work. It's important. People should not feel that you're just giving them work. Next point I want to make here, honesty. I think a lot has been spoken, and I don't hesitate to repeat at all. Honesty is very important. Generally there may be a lot of bad news you may have to share. I would say, if possible, please do not retrench people. It affects morale of everyone. Plus, you may also have a certain social responsibility as your value. And don't forget that getting new people at the end will not be easy, and then training them, and it's very expensive to get an effective person, and then it could take a couple of weeks to understand, or even a month to understand. So it's not so cheap. So it's only a short-term thing. We're talking of a 90-day or a 100-day or an 80-day situation. So I wouldn't say you retrench anybody. But let's say if there are two people and you have been anyway thinking of, moving them out, then this might be the right time. But you please make sure that you honestly and communicate to the team. Or if you feel some perks have to be reduced, we just heard an example of a client who's giving a fixed sustenance allowance. That's a great idea. In fact, one of my clients is an auto distributor, and he got this idea and he's doing it. So in bad times, if you have to do such things, please don't wait. Communicate upfront. That's very important, because your team anyway is stressed and they are sensing bad news. It's not that they are not. So don't postpone. Tell them right away, honestly, transparently. Then they will be at peace that the worst is over. And what had to happen has already happened. And now they know they have to live on this allowance, and they know that their business owner is with them, and they already have their mission. There will be a lot of energy that will come in them, and all that uncertainty will go out of their mind. As I said, I'm going to ask you a few questions. And here is my question after this lesson 3. The question is, and please type in the chat box, do you think during lockdown you should be extra soft with your team? Now that's a trick question, okay? So please open your chat boxes and write down your answers. You have to just write yes or no. Yeah, numbers going up, I can see. Okay, I can see. Okay, please go ahead, write some more people, please. All right. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, some more. All right. Yes. Very nice. Yes or no is simple. Yeah, it's simple. Okay. So, okay, some more are coming still. I'm glad. Okay, while you people continue writing, and I've read some, and I'm going to sort of, I've got the trend. See, it's a mixed trend. Some of you feel yes, some of you feel no, but yeah, many of you feel yes. I'll give you my take on this. Answers are still coming. It's beautiful. Thanks for participation. See, I don't think you have to be extra soft, or for that matter, extra harsh. You don't have to be a shark. creating panic. Ye mar gaye, ji gaye, do this, do that. No, I don't think so. Neither you have to be a sweet little thing, who is like happy in spite of everything. So you don't have to sort of, be happy and acceptance of every issue that might come up. But the most important thing here is that please make sure you don't go into a shell like a tortoise. That's the most critical thing. Be visible to your team. And I'm repeating, communicate, communicate, communicate. And like normal times, is a good management practice. Please maintain high task as well as people orientation. Don't have to be extraordinarily soft or anything. Please maintain. So that's what motivates people. And I just said, please increase the communication frequency as well as review frequency. So please be aware about your tendency to become too soft or too panicky. And as business owner and as a leader, stay in the high quadrant. And with this, I'm going to kind of move to the external world, which is customer and vendor, right? Customer and vendor, the people who are saving you and working with you from outside. Let's go into this domain of people and also see how its interaction with the underground people, those who are trapped in the first audio contact. And mind it, they are inside a tunnel, trapped, very little food and water. And after many days, there was the first official audio contact. Urzua did not talk about the despair and the hunger and the desperation, mental desperation the people were. He said, "We are fine, waiting for you to rescue us." Look at the strength of this leadership. We are fine, waiting for you to rescue us. Maybe you want to absorb the next one also. So Urzua used to have 3 briefings once the audio contact was there. One briefing was with the technical guy where exchange of information happened about the rescue. One was with the psychologist, where Urzua briefed about the mental strength of his team, and one was with the medical doctor if somebody was getting any infection or some other issues. And in one of his communication with the doctor, he told them, keep it short. We have lots of work to do inside. Can you beat that? Keep it short. We have lots of work to do inside. So my friends, your customer and your vendor must know that you're fighting fit, that you're using this time to get stronger, that you will be ready to support them as soon as the lockdown is over. And in fact, they should get that confidence that you will actually get better in some areas than you were before. Don't hesitate. Share your 90-day mission with your customers. They'll appreciate this. I gave you the example of the engineering design business actually conducting training for his customers. So that's kind of a service level. So double up your service levels. Think of what you can do to engage your customers. Think of what you can do to help them. The other day, my auto dealer called me to tell me how to best take care of my car when it's parked for long duration. To remove the parking brake. Simple tips he gave me, which will keep my car in good shape. He promised to do a quick service as soon as the lockdown ends. He also informed me that they are allowed to do breakdown service. So in case of an emergency, and if I have to go out and I need their help, I can call their 24/7 helpline. Now that's something helpful, and I really appreciate that. And look at this example of the travel company. He is marketing massively. He's marketing for winter trips. He is not sitting down and, below the point of power. He is really above the point of power. So redouble your service and marketing efforts. In fact, some other auto companies, and I keep giving auto examples, I'm from auto industry, but there are examples from every industry. They're doing a lot of online marketing, and they say the day lockdown will open, we'll deliver the things to you. So you make sure, please, that you communicate a lot with your customer and vendors. It should be frequent, but crisp communication. If you are talking once a month earlier, make it in a few days, 3-4 days. And please give them an update on your 90-day mission. They will really love it. And as I said, you have to give them confidence that you will live through this and you will bounce back very quickly. We are fine. We are waiting for you to rescue us, or we are waiting for the lockdown to open. So that's the kind of spirit, that you have to exhibit. Oh, so let's go to the next one now. Resources. Okay, important one, important one. Let me take you inside again. Urzwa tried to instill a philosophical acceptance of fate so they could accept their situation and move on to embrace the essential task of survival. There is no denying that resources are going to be very tight. I mean, you have to sort of spiritually take it in. Let me continue. They rationed water and food immediately, in fact, within the first 1 hour. They used backhoes to dig for water. Some they got from radiator of vehicles. The men used truck batteries to power their lamp hats. A truck was used as an office, and they turned the lights of other trucks on and off to simulate daylight. Look at it. Resources, my friends, especially cash, is going to be like air. Actually, it will be scarce, and and it can choke you. So you need to work out what you want to have in hand. Remember, you have to bounce back quickly when the market opens out. Remember that. So you may have to first put down a figure in your mind that when the market opens, what do I need to kickstart my operations and ramp up quickly? Look at every item in your cost line by line. No amount is insignificant or small. If your office is closed now, as it might be, maybe you can talk to your broadband company and deactivate, and save some monthly rent, in deactivation state. Maybe you should immediately approach your landlord, negotiate the rent, or take a moratorium. Tell him you will pay the amount, right? After the lockdown is over. You all know that banks are opening up. A lot of cash has been made available. Reserve Bank has given some facilities. Please don't wait. Go right now to engage with your banker. Take whatever limits you can get. If you wait for lockdown to open or something to become visible, it will be too late. Don't worry. Take whatever loan ODs that you can get right now. Remember, those who will be quickest, fastest to ramp up, those who will show that ability that I can ramp up very, very quickly, they will get long-term gains from their customers. They will get business. So garner every resource possible today. Be as much ready as you can be to quickly ramp up. Urzwa did not wait for water stocks to come down. He immediately created a team. One of the three teams, one team was given responsibility of water to garner water resources from day one. So actually, in the first very 1 hour, he actually put a team to garner water resources, and he made them in charge of water. So my friends, do prepare your cash flow statement now. Assess the 90-day outflow after scrounging line by line, reducing all your expenses. And also, I repeat because it's really, really important to figure out what money you will need to reboot when the time comes. Remember, you will gain a lot if you are able to reboot quickly. So garner every resource, try everything. Yeah. In fact, it's a little small thing, but I must share with you. Other day, I got this message from Karachi Sweets. He's, selling stuff online and through Dunzo delivering at home, khakras and whatnot. Pani Puri also, by the way. And I could figure out that while he's producing some things, he's trying to encash his inventory. I really appreciate the effort. No effort is small in this situation, and every little resource, has to be garnered. Okay, so now I go to my my last bucket, yeah, and which is given close to heart, I'm sure many people's heart. We had a beautiful session on values, and one of the biggest input for positivity, my friends, is a feeling of gratitude and humility. Do something for the community. Importantly, encourage your team, and I would say even the family, to do the same. It's a win-win. It's a pure win-win. You will help those who need it badly, and I'm sure we have the resources to do something for community. And we all, team and everybody, we all will feel lucky, and we will realize how lucky we are, and it will give us a lot of spiritual energy. And I would say do it systematically. Involve your team. Prepare a 90-day plan for community, like your business mission. Review it like your business mission, and execute it with the same rigor and firm actions. And I assure you, it will really, really help you to stay positive. I am coming towards the end of my talk, and this was my last lesson. But just a few closing remarks from my side, a couple of three more slides. I would like to really leave with you a pole star for each of the bucket. Why the pole star? And you can read actually, but I would nevertheless like to repeat what you are reading already. Because if you ever feel confused about what to do, sometimes you will be presented with more than one path, multiple paths, and you will have to choose. They will all look similar, but they will be different with different consequences, and choose them. At that time, this pole star will help you to make a choice. And I want to start with community. My keyword, my pole star for community, I'm repeating, is written, is humility. Check if what you are doing is making you feel grateful and humble. For this will feed into your positivity. So keep that pole star of humility. And my next pole star, I've already said, is positivity. What choices you make, does it make you feel upbeat and positive? What makes you feel good about yourself? What energizes you from inside? Please choose that path. My pole star for self is positivity. For team, it's unity. Don't do anything at all which could hamper team unity. Check which option actually fosters team unity. I talked about actions which require more than one team member, co-dependent on each other. Please take a lot of these actions. Do things that will make team even more of a team. And this is a wonderful opportunity to create team unity. When it comes to the outside world, customer and vendor, trustworthy is my key point, is my pole star. Does this make you a more trustworthy business partner? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Do my business partners get a feeling that they can depend on me? Will they trust me even more? COVID will come and go. Trust is something that stays for very, very long, my friends, sometimes lifelong. So trustworthy, remember that pole star. When it comes to resource, the only word that comes to my mind is brevity. You have to take resource very, very seriously. You have to be hard and you have to be pragmatic. So please follow these pole stars. And I assure you, what you will gain will last you way beyond the current situation that you're facing. I'm telling you, it will give you lifelong strength and values. We had a beautiful session on values. I keep repeating, it was just the last session. Use these pole stars and it will give you lifelong strength and values. And I'm going to show you this picture. These are the miners. Your picture was taken a few years later with some celebrities. And the miners are, I must tell you, millionaires now. They are very, 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 very rich. Okay. And, and that takes me to my last poll. Do you think there is no urgency and you can wait to see how things pan out before you act on these suggestions? Well, type out your answer. Do you think? अभी रुक सकते हैं हफ्ता 10 दिन 15 दिन देख लेते हैं. We'll see for 10-20 days. Please type out your answer. Please type out. I can see answers coming in. More people, please. I know the answer is kind of obvious, but I still want you to type it and reinforce in your mind. So more people, please. Okay. So yes, my friends, now is the time to get into action. It's very, very important. It's very, very critical. This is the time to get into action and don't wait. So folks, thank you very much. I'm going to put on the video now so that you can see my mug shot and you can see that I'm not in my shorts and I'm dressed up for the occasion. Okay, can you see my shot? Guys? Hello? No?
We can't see you.
I'm trying actually, but the video is not opening out.
Just click on start.
Oh, it says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it, my friend. Okay, start my video. All right. That's good. Now I'm here.
Okay.
So I'm open to questions, and let me go through the panel questions and see whether I can answer some right now. How much time we have, Satya? How much time we have?
Nalin, we are slightly over time. This is Ratish.
Okay,
And
Ratish.
I will help you with the questions.
All right, go ahead.
So,
I'll try to be crisp.
Yeah, before I start off with the questions, I can tell you the presentation really had goosebumps. I had goosebumps. Amazing connect with the mining story and what the entrepreneur needs to do now. Amazingly done. Brilliant, brilliant stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the first question that comes to my mind actually has been asked is, for planning mission, etc., you need a lot of resilience. How do you acquire this skill?
Well, guys, I think the whole presentation was about that. And the first step is to stay positive, take accountability, take responsibility. The whole presentation was, get your team involved, because resilience is not just in you. You are not alone in this business. You have customers, you have vendors. Believe me, if you show your fitness, if you show your trustworthiness to your customers and vendors, they will support you also. Some customers can pay your bills quickly. Some customers can help you. So I think the resilience is a mindset, and it's really not a constraint. And get your team, get everybody into the game, and you will see the whole world will come and support you.
Great. Don't see any more questions that are being asked. I think you were very much, hey, here comes one.
Okay.
Businesses collectively do value creation in this lockdown. Again, a great question.
I think it's a wonderful thing. Maybe, when we talked about the outside world, I would have perhaps said that vendors, customers, and your co-businessmen, I mean, it would have been, it's quite, it would be quite great for businesses to come together and even help each other and jointly, create value in this situation, jointly get ready for ramp up. So I think it's a wonderful point, and I take this as my learning from this interaction.
Okay, this one takes you back to your automotive days.
Okay.
They are certainly trying to lean on your automotive knowledge. So what would be a 90-day plan for automotive parts supplier, priorities of automotive parts suppliers?
Wonderful. In fact, I'm consulting one authorized parts supplier, and I had a long chat with him just the other day. So I think one of the missions for the parts supplier that came out of discussion, and he himself covered it, was to start training his distributors, the parts distributor, training his retailers, and supporting the retailers in many ways. How do retailer manages his inventory? How do the salesmen learn parts pricing? How do they learn, for instance, there is a lot of engineering obsolescence in parts, certain parts will go only in a 5-year-old vehicle. How do they learn that? How do I manage my inventory? How do I support my principal, whose distributor I am? So in fact, the person that we were discussing is supposed to come back with a serious business mission, which he will choose after discussing with his team. Because you can't focus on 5 areas, so you have to select one. So these are some of the ideas for auto parts distribution network, to create a mission. You could learn and become a better businessman at the end of this lockdown.
Great, thank you so much. With that, any closing comments that you may have? We would love to hear more.
It was really wonderful. I think what a great 1.5, 2 days this has been. I'm sure all our attendees, business partners have enjoyed it thoroughly. I have personally learned a lot, and it's been beautifully conducted. It's been a wonderful experience to be a part of this thing, and I look forward to associating with business owners. If you want help to create a 90-day business mission or a plan, I will be available. It's simple. It's nalinmehta@actioncoach.com. So please write to me, and I'll be delighted to participate and partner you. Thank you very much, everyone. And I could sign off right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nalin. Before you leave, we have a small token of gratitude, a certificate. Thank you so much for putting this information together. Your session was quite insightful, and we thank you so much for the effort. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. I enjoyed it too, and I learned something great today. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.